Welcome back to Sophia's YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm gonna tell you about the United World Colleges and share my experience of how I apply to it. This video will be divided into 4 sections, which are what is UWC, the selection process plus my experience, some tips, and some Q&A at the end. Without more ado, let's get started! United World Colleges UWC is a global movement that makes education a force to unite people, nations, and cultures for peace and a sustainable future. It's an international boarding school that adopts the International Baccalaureate curriculum for students between 16 to 18 years of age. In 1955, the educational pioneer Kurt Hahn delivered a peace speech at the NATO Defense College in Paris, opposing the ongoing outbreak of the World War II. At the time, he'd already founded several educational institutions, as well as making public speeches about the power of education as a route to peace. UWC was then established by him and other educational professions. Since then, there are 18 campuses located in different regions, such as the United Kingdom, Canada, China, and more. For the selection procedures, firstly, you have to fill in the online application form where you can find it on the UWC official website. Secondly, you will do a paper exam. And thirdly, you will have a group interview, which we call the challenge day. Lastly, you will have a private interview. It can be 1-to-1, it can be 1-to-3. It's an individual interview you have with the senior managers in the national committee. I've been studying IGCSE courses, which are the pre-IB courses in Taiwan. I got to know about UWC through one of my best friends. She highly recommended that I apply to a college. As she said, students with open-minded hearts, being passionate about his or her goals, being willing to contribute are the ones they're looking for. So I was like, why not give it a shot? I won't be talking too much about the paper exam and the online application because they're the ones you can prepare. During the group interview, as we call it the challenge day, the activities were carried out by groups. There, we'd gotten tasks like conducting street interviews, brainstorming, debating, acting. Each of them was connected to a specific social issue such as Taiwanese culture, discrimination among indigenous people, or rural education. There, I met so many creative and excellent teenagers. I was having a proactive approach in every activity, though I didn't talk much. I was carrying lots of enthusiasm, especially while conducting street interviews and acting. My strength is taking actions but not public speaking, so I guess that was when the interviewers appreciated my values. In terms of the private interview, I was asked about my grades at school, my hobbies, and more. I did get some tricky questions that were worth pondering, though at the moment I just said what I had off the top of my head. Those questions were like, what can you do to let others know about Taiwan after you go to UWC? Why you chose UWC and what can it bring to you? There's no right or wrong answers. The key is that you should genuinely speak to your interviewers about what you believe as accurately as possible. After the selection process, I got a phone call said I was nominated by the Taiwan National Committee. The school I'll be going to is UWC Diligent. UWC is unique due to its ethnic and cultural diversity of the students. The school itself is extraordinary. We have an enormous building full of sports facilities like swimming pools, gyms, a football pitch approved by FIFA, and lots of equipment as well. Going there also gives me many opportunities to help people in need and those in the local community. Today, I also invite Ivy come to share her experience of how to apply to UWC. Let's welcome her!
Hello everyone, I'm Ivy from Taiwan and I'm a current student at UWC Diligent. Today I'm going to share my experience with you guys. I will talk about the UWC challenge day first. Actually, I share most of my opinions in Chinese since it could be easier to me to interpret my thought clearly. It is okay for you to speak in a language that you are most familiar with. And the main point is that you need to let others know your opinions. Besides, sticking to always what activity is important since it can not only demonstrate what you care about but also show your personality. Take my personal experience for example. I was one of the youth representatives of Taipei City government and I have done it for almost a year. My responsibility is to convey children and youth opinions and make their sound heard by the government. I consider these activities can show my enthusiasm as well as social issues. In conclusion, most important thing is that you need to show who you are and also what you are passionate about.
Thank you for your sharing, Ivy.
No problem. I hope it will be helpful.
Now I'll be sharing some tips that you may find useful during the application process. First of all, show your very self. You do not have to pretend that you're positive even if you're not. Speak to your interviewers and other candidates in the way that you feel the most comfortable with. Whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, show your personal charisma. Secondly, English ability is not the only criterion for the selection process. Speaking Chinese is totally fine. How you communicate and express your beliefs and perspectives is the most important thing in the interviews. Last but not least, do research in advance and be clear about your goals and the school you want to go to. You all know that UWC Diligent was my first choice, but when the interviewers asked me about the conflicts happened between Armenia and Azerbaijan, I had little clue about that and my mind just went blank. If this happens, you might give interviewers a bad impression of yourself. Yes, UWC offers scholarship to students based on their financial situation. After passing the first two selection phases, the National Committee asks you to submit a financial assessment form. If the tuition is unaffordable to the extent that even the scholarship can't help, then many students will choose to fundraise. Unfortunately, we can't choose our own school. The National Committee assigns you to the school that suits you the best. However, on the online application form, you will have a preferences where you can rank the school. During the interview, you can also mention your favorite school and why. The interviewers will also consider that. If you already graduated from high school, you can still apply to UWC as long as you're within the age limit. I knew some people that were interested in applying to UWC decided not to take this chance because they didn't want to delay going to universities. I want to tell you that everyone has his or her time zone, so if you're passionate about UWC, please do not hesitate to join this big community. This is the end of the video and I hope you enjoy it. If you like my video, you can subscribe to my channel and hit the like button below. And if you want to get more information about UWC, you can go to the UWC official website. See you next time. Bye bye!